You are looking at $10 of colored gel. That's what Drano Max Gel costs at Walmart right now. A plastic bottle of sodium hydroxide, sodium hypochlorite, and water, dressed up in black packaging with an orange lightning bolt, sitting on a shelf next to 8 other products from the same company doing the exact same thing at slightly different price points. The SC Johnson Corporation, which owns Drano, generates over $10 billion in annual revenue. A significant portion of that comes from people pouring this bottle down a drain, waiting 15 minutes, and buying another one 3 weeks later when the clog comes back, because it always comes back. Here's what they're not putting on the label. The active chemistry in that bottle doesn't remove clogs. It dissolves the surface of them, the hair, the soap scum, the grease binding it together. The core of the blockage, the physical mass wedged against your pipe wall, stays exactly where it is, softened, temporarily dispersed, and rebuilt the moment you run the water again. And while it's doing that, it's also doing something else. It's sitting against your pipe walls at a pH of 13, one of the most caustic chemical environments outside a laboratory, slowly degrading the very pipes it's supposed to be helping. There's a $0 fix for any standard drain clog. It takes 60 seconds. It works on physics, not chemistry. It removes the entire blockage instead of softening the edges. And it has a 0% chance of ever damaging your plumbing. But before I show you the fix, you need to understand how we got tricked in the first place. Because this isn't a coincidence. This is design. Drain cleaners as a commercial product category didn't exist before 1923. That's when a man named Harry Drackett, a chemist in Cincinnati, mixed lye with aluminum chips and put it in a can. He called it Drano. The aluminum reacted with the lye to generate heat, the lye dissolved organic matter, and the combination cleared simple grease clogs and cast iron pipes. For 1923 plumbing in 1923 kitchens, with 1923 pipe materials, it was a reasonable solution. Here's what changed. Modern residential plumbing is not cast iron, it's PVC, polyvinyl chloride plastic, introduced into residential construction starting in the 1970s and now the standard in virtually every home built or renovated in the last 50 years. PVC has a very different chemical tolerance profile than cast iron. It softens under sustained heat. It degrades under prolonged exposure to high pH caustic solutions. The product that was designed for one pipe material is now being sold aggressively for a completely different one, and the formula hasn't changed in 100 years. The marketing, however, has changed enormously. The campaigns from the 1980s onward conditioned an entire generation to reach for a bottle the moment water backed up in a sink. The imagery was always the same. The slow drain, the frustrated homeowner, the pour, the satisfying glug of water rushing through, clean, solved, done. The commercial never showed you what happened 6 weeks later when the dispersed clog reassembled against the pipe shoulder. You learned that a chemical reaction fixes a drain, and that belief is worth billions of dollars a year in repurchase cycles. That's not plumbing science, that's conditioning. Here's the actual physics of a standard household clog. 90% of residential drain blockages are caused by one of 3 things: accumulated hair bound together by soap scum, grease solidified along a pipe wall, or a physical object caught on the drain stopper mechanism. None of these require chemistry to remove. All 3 respond immediately and completely to mechanical force, specifically 2 physical principles: suction and displacement, both of which you can generate for free with tools you already own, or for $3 with a tool from any hardware store. Here's what you actually need, and what each one does at the physics level. The first tool is a standard cup plunger, not the flange plunger, which is for toilets. The cup plunger, a flat rubber dome on a wooden handle. Home Depot sells the Husky brand for about $6. Walmart carries their own store brand for $4. If you own a home, you probably have one under a sink already. This is the suction tool. When you push down, you force pressurized water into the pipe. When you pull up, you create a negative pressure spike, a vacuum pulse, against whatever is blocking the drain. That pressure differential is measured in pounds per square inch. A firm plunge generates between 3 and 11 psi of force directly against the blockage. Hair clogs, grease plugs, and soap accumulation don't have the structural integrity to resist that. They break apart and move. Physics doesn't negotiate. The second tool is a drain snake, also called a hand auger. The most basic version is a 25-foot steel cable with a coiled tip, housed in a plastic drum with a hand crank. The Cobra brand at Home Depot runs about $25. The rigid model at around $30. For sink and shower drains, the 25-foot length reaches every blockage you'll ever encounter in a residential pipe. The coiled tip works by 2 mechanisms simultaneously. It either physically breaks through the clog and pushes it forward into the main line, or it catches and hooks the material, especially hair, so you pull the entire blockage out of the pipe in one motion. No chemistry, no residue, no pipe contact beyond the mechanical tip. And the third, which costs nothing because you already own one, is a wire coat hanger, straightened out with a small hook bent at the tip using pliers. This handles the single most common cause of slow bathroom drains, which is a hair accumulation sitting directly on or just below the drain stopper, usually within the first 4 inches of pipe. You don't need a snake for that. You don't need chemistry for that. You need a hook and 30 seconds. Total cost for the full toolkit, $0 if you use the hanger, $4 to $6 if you buy the cup plunger, $25 to $30 if you add the snake for deeper blockages. One time, these tools don't run out, they don't expire, they don't corrode your pipes. You buy them once, and they outlast every drain in the house. Here's the exact sequence. Start with the simplest tool and move to the next, only if needed. Most clogs never make it past step one. Step one, the coat hanger hook, 60 seconds. Straighten a wire coat hanger completely. Bend the last half inch into a small, tight hook using pliers or your fingers. Remove the drain cover or stopper. Most bathroom sink stoppers lift straight out or unscrew counterclockwise. Shower drain covers pop off with a flathead screwdriver. Insert the hook straight down into the drain opening. Angle it slightly toward the pipe wall and rotate slowly while pushing down. When you feel resistance, you've hit the clog. Now rotate the hook to catch the material and pull straight up. Slowly. What comes out will be a dense, matted cylinder of hair and soap scum that looks like it couldn't possibly have fit in that drain. It did. That's your clog. Drop it in the trash, run the hot water for 30 seconds, and you're done. This solves the problem completely in the majority of bathroom sink and shower drain situations. Step 2. The cup plunger. 90 seconds. If the hanger produces nothing or the water still drains slowly, the blockage is deeper in the pipe. Fill the sink or tub with 2 to 3 inches of water. You need water in the basin to create a hydraulic seal. This is the insider rule most people miss. A dry plunge moves air. An air pocket compresses and absorbs your force before it reaches the clog. Water is incompressible. A wet plunge transfers every pound of force you generate directly to the blockage. No energy loss. Place the cup of the plunger directly over the drain opening, flat against the basin surface. Push down slowly to seat the seal, then drive it with 5 to 8 sharp, firm strokes. Push and pull with equal force. The suction phase, the pull, is where the real work happens. It creates the negative pressure spike that dislodges the blockage from the pipe wall. Run the water. If it drains freely, you're done. Step 3. The drain snake, 3 to 5 minutes. For deep clogs, grease accumulations in kitchen pipes, or anything a plunger doesn't clear, feed the snake into the drain opening and begin cranking the handle clockwise. Feed cable slowly, about 6 inches at a time. When you feel increased resistance, you've reached the blockage. Continue cranking. The coiled tip either breaks through or catches. If it catches, you'll feel the cable load up. Reverse the crank direction slightly to lock the material onto the tip, then pull the cable back out slowly. Clean the tip with an old rag between passes. Repeat until the snake passes freely with no resistance. Run hot water for a full minute to flush any loosened material into the main line. Honest timeline. The hanger and plunger are instant results. The snake takes 3 to 5 minutes for stubborn, deep blockages. Not instant in every case, but complete. The blockage is physically removed, not chemically softened and left in place. You might be wondering, is there any situation where Drano is actually the better option? Let me give you an honest answer and then some data that puts it in context. Drano and similar sodium hydroxide-based drain cleaners have a legitimate use case in one scenario: dissolving grease clogs in older cast iron or steel pipes where mechanical access is genuinely difficult. That's a real application. In 1950s construction with original cast iron drain stacks, the chemistry has merit. For the PVC plumbing in virtually every home built or renovated since 1970, the picture is different. A 2010 study published in the journal Polymer Degradation and Stability found that repeated exposure to high pH alkaline solutions, the category that includes sodium hydroxide drain cleaners, measurably reduces the tensile strength and wall thickness of PVC pipe over time. The degradation accelerates in older PVC that has already experienced UV exposure or heat cycling. The pipe doesn't fail immediately, it weakens gradually, and you don't know it's weakening because it's inside a wall. The EPA has also classified sodium hydroxide as a hazardous substance under the Comprehensive Environmental Response, Compensation, and Liability Act. When you pour Drano down a drain, you are introducing a regulated hazardous chemical into your residential water system. Most of it passes through to municipal treatment, some of it doesn't. And here's the part the packaging doesn't mention. Drano contains sodium hypochlorite, which is bleach. Mixed with the ammonia compounds that naturally occur in drain biofilm, it generates chloramine gas. In a poorly ventilated bathroom with the door closed, you are generating toxic gas to clear a clog that a coat hanger would have handled in 30 seconds. The mechanical approach has zero chemical byproducts, zero pipe degradation, zero hazardous substance involvement. It's what a licensed plumber does when they arrive at your house. They don't pour chemicals, they run a snake, because that's what actually works. Here are the numbers one final time. The drain cleaner market in the United States is worth approximately $420 million a year. The average household buys 2 to 4 bottles of chemical drain cleaner annually at $8 to $12 per bottle. That's up to $48 a year every year for a product that doesn't fully remove the blockage and slowly degrades the pipes it's supposed to be helping. A $4 cup plunger solves the same problem permanently, with zero chemical exposure and zero pipe degradation. You buy it once. It sits under the sink. It works every time for 20 years without running out. A $48 a year chemical subscription that softens clogs and weakens your plumbing is not a solution. It's a business model. A $4 tool that removes the blockage completely and never needs replacing is not a business model. It's a business ending. And that's exactly why SC Johnson spends millions on advertising and exactly $0 telling you a wire coat hanger does the job for free. You now know what a $420 million industry is counting on you not knowing. The next time water backs up in your sink, you won't reach for a bottle. You'll reach for a hanger or a plunger or a $25 snake that you'll still be using in 15 years. If this saves you money, hit the like button. It tells the algorithm to show this video to other people still buying Drano every few weeks for a problem that costs nothing to fix. And if you want the next material science trick that exposes another household markup hiding in plain sight, the video on your screen right now shows you exactly that. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.